Yeah, from Little Kim, the Queen Bee. It's ladies' night, what? It must be Angie on the mic. The butter pea, honey, got the sugar, got the spice. Roll the L tight, keep the rhymes right, yo. I just made this motherfucker up last night. And I'm the rookie on this all-star team. Me and Kim is getting cream, like Thelma and Louise, but on chrome. Never leave that Brooklyn shit alone. So if you say it's on, then it's on. Bang this in your whips, that can coat a roadie with the chips in the wrist. Here's a French kiss. I dismiss all you chicks. Spit 6 from the 4th, 5th, make it dance. Ow! I stay focused in the dopest, like a penny with the hole in it.
Hello and welcome. This is Ladies Night right here on Independent Television. My name is Ameze Obai Siagwon, but of course you can call me the Empress of the Airwaves. Yeah, on Ladies Night generally we look at anything talkable, anything discussable, and we dissect it on the show. Today is no different. I've got an interesting topic that I'm sure you would love to actually listen to. Now, on a daily basis, we get to meet different people. We get to meet different men, different women, and some people strike us as the perfect people. Now, as a woman, there's a man that you have pictured in your mind that this is the kind of person I would like to end up with. He has all the qualities, he has everything that you've always desired in a man. Now, you meet this person, for instance, and you fall in love with that kind of person. And things seem to be going really smoothly, but unfortunately for you, he's not as serious as you think he should be about that relationship. Probably he's not taking it to the next level. What do you do? That's what we're looking at today on the show. Now, we're going to be focusing more on the possibility of using a pregnancy as a bait or as a trap to making sure that your relationship becomes stronger, your relationship leads to the next level, which of course is marriage. Now, do you think that if you get pregnant for a man that you're dating, it will spur him or it will encourage him to decide to spend the rest of his life with you? That's what we're basically looking at on the show today. A lot of women tend to use that as a yardstick or as a way out when their man is not really serious. Probably he's not popping the question, will you marry me? And they're like, okay, probably I can get married to him if I am if I'm the mother of his child. Now, do you think it's advisable? That's the first start. Do you think it's possible that a man would actually fall for that kind of trick and then he says, oh wow, there's a baby involved now, I have to get married to her? And apart from that, do you feel that such a relationship would last even if they actually get married? That's basically what we're going to talk about. I'm going to head on to the streets now. I want to see what people out there on the streets have to say, and before when I get back, I'll actually let you meet my guest. Not my regular lady on Ladies Night, but definitely someone whose voice, whose face you must have seen. Anyways, the question we are throwing out there now is, does the aspect of a child coming into the relationship, will that aspect make that relationship stand? Is there a possibility that if a pregnancy is used as a trap, would it lead to marriage? That's the question. My name is Ameze Obai Siagwon. We are heading to the streets.
Actually, it's not ideal for a woman to trap a man with a relationship, with pregnancy. Because at a point in time, the man may not be interested, you know. It may be like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you from the mouth. If you look at the love of God, it's different from the love of man. Now, the Bible says, for God so loved the world, and he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believes in him will not perish but have everlasting life. The love of God is quite different from the one of a man. Human being can tell you, I love you, with the lips, but the heart is far different. Even the word of God said the heart of a man, he says, is desperately wicked. So it's not good for a woman to trap a man with a pregnancy in a relationship. Thank you.
It is not. It's not by force to get married. So pregnancy, if you track a man with pregnancy, he can decide to say, you can put down the child, but it's not a guarantee for you to marry him.
For me, Shazin, I don't like that, because if you, because of pregnancy, as in you force yourself into marriage, at the end you will suffer it, because maybe the boy will not love you at the end. So you will be the one suffer the pain at home. So it's not advisable. For me, I don't like it.
Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think it's right, because it has a lot of implications.
It's wrong, as that is biblical. It's totally wrong, and God instituted marriage. So if anyone wants to marry, just go straight, pay your woman dowry and get marry instead of pregnated any woman, and it's very wrong.
For me, it's not wisdom. It's not wisdom for that to happen. Because trapping the man with a pregnancy, it might end up that the man doesn't love you. And because relationship as it whole has to do with love. If there's no love, there's no relationship. So if you trap him with pregnancy, you might end up becoming a frustrated mother.
It's not a normal thing for a woman to trap a man with pregnancy, because so long as a man and a woman is in love and that love is genuine, it's not a good thing for a woman to trap, because it's an arrangement, it's an orderly thing. That it's supposed to be that a man and a woman should have an agreement that if this happens, how is the aftermath going to be like? You understand? So it's something there's supposed to be like an arrangement between a man and a woman that in case it happens this way, how do we face it? Let's face it as man and a woman that we are. That our parents, you and I already have an understanding, and then we are no longer afraid of the aftermath. So what we are not after is how do we continue thereafter? Our mother, our father should be aware of the situation that we were in a relationship before that, and how do we move forward? I have to come forward and say, okay, I love you already. Let me put money, let me pay your bride price and all that. So that is it. That's how it's supposed to be between a man and a woman. You get it? So if you ask me again, if a man is supposed to like impregnate a woman before all of that, so I can say that the situation we are right now in the contemporary time, 21st century, is different from what you used to observe, what you used to see before now. So our parents will encourage us, do the needful. If we don't have pregnancy, we can't pay the bride price. But if we have that, we can do that. So that's what I believe in. Thank you.
All right, welcome back. This is still Ladies' Night. Of course, we went on the streets to hear the views of people out there. What do you think about a woman or a man as well? Because some men actually do that. Probably they've planned and decided that, okay, we're not having kids until we get married. But the man decides, no, I can't wait again. I will put something into this lady and she would get pregnant. Now, do you think it will make that relationship stronger? Do you think that relationship would eventually lead to marriage? And in the long run, what will happen in that relationship? That's basically what we've been talking about. You've heard those we talked to on the streets, and we're back in the studio. I have my guest right here. A regular voice, a regular face. You probably already know her. Talking about Blessing Enche, also known as BG. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You look fine.
I need to
Seriously
look fine. It's
speaking.
either you look fine or you look fine. That's the choice.
Okay, I like that policy. All right, now looking at the topic today, you've heard what people out there had to say.
Oh, yes.
Now, do you agree with most of them? Most of them were probably talking about the fact that it's possible, but it's not always advisable. Now, do you feel that if a man is not ready to settle down, or he does not even want to settle down with you in the first place, do you think that getting pregnant for him will spur him to actually make that decision?
Well, just like some persons on the street have said, it does work sometimes, but it's risky. It's everything in life is risky. So for a lady who wants to trap a man with pregnancy, she's got to think about it like this could go either way, and I'm sure at that point she's ready for whatever comes. If the man accepts or have a change of heart, knowing that she's already pregnant and says, okay, well, initially I didn't want to marry you, but now that you're expecting my child, to have my child in a home that is legal, a home where I am not breaking any rule, in quotes, or where the man is not breaking any rule, okay, let's just get married. Well, it does work. It has worked for so many ladies. They eventually get married. But, you know, for something you didn't want to do, when there is problem in the home, some of these ladies find that the man is always reminding them that, you remember I didn't want to marry you.
You're the one who forced
if
it
not that you
on
got
me.
pregnant,
Yeah.
you know. So if you are that kind of person who can take that, some of them wouldn't mind, provided the aim from the beginning was to be married to the man. So whatever he says is his business. They just stay there. But some end up regretting. So It depends on the man you're dealing with. Some would even insist, okay, fine, you want to have a child. Have the child. At best, they'll be responsible for the upkeep of the child. But you're left to your own. They don't want to marry you, don't want to marry you.
So you become a baby mama.
That's how baby mamas came about. Some of them actually wanted to trap the guys, but turned out those guys were not dancing to their tunes, and so they became baby mamas.
How about a man? Because when I talked about this, when I asked some people on the street, they're like, do men do that? But I've heard a man say, if this woman does not marry me, I'll get her pregnant. She will marry me by force. Do you think that there are men out there who would actually do that and achieve that purpose?
You know, I usually say that for a woman to be pregnant, it was an agreement between herself and the man. And some men will say, no, we're just having fun. I didn't ask for a child. Well, I will tell you why I said you already agreed. And both of you agreed for it to happen. The moment you decide to have unprotected sex, that's the day you agreed. That's the time you agreed that I'm ready for a child. So if it happens that pregnancy comes, whether it was the man who wanted it or is the woman who wanted it, they had some form of agreement that perhaps they weren't conscious of. Yes, some men would like, I want to marry this girl, but you know, she's not actually looking at marriage right now, or is not serious for a marriage relationship. So they're just praying that, you know, some mistake happens and she gets pregnant. And maybe by mistake it does happen and the girl makes it known to them that she's pregnant. The man is excited like, hey, as if he's won a trophy. So straight up, let's get married. I know some would even go as far as letting family members of the girl know in case she has any intention of terminating, so that everybody is aware that you're pregnant. Even the mother of the man is aware. They've come to you, they've come to sing and all. So at the point, the girl is like, you know, she just has to keep the child. Yeah, some guys. But I think it's not like what a lady would do to a man. It's the girl who got pregnant. Even if she didn't want to marry the man, she allowed herself to get pregnant. So still, men don't really trap women with pregnancies, but they just take advantage when it happens.
Okay, now let me put this question to you as a person. Now you meet a man, he's your perfect man.
Okay.
He's everything you've always dreamed of, from when you were a little girl to when you were a teenager to when you grew up. And you guys, he seems to like you and you guys flow, you're doing good, you start a relationship and it seems to go okay. But time is passing and your biological clock is ticking. And you're trying to say, bros, have fun now. And he's not
understanding the message.
Yes. Now, what would you do in that scenario?
It's the name of the man, $10. If he is, bros, it's not even one, no. It's 2 pregnancies in one. It's going to be twins, okay? So that you can't run away from 2 children. Okay, even if you say baby mama, at least now there's so much at stake right now. Okay, that was a joke, by the way. Well, I think I like to be intentional. I don't like things that come by chance when it has to do with my future. My future in the sense that I'm talking about having a child for someone would always be in my life. Whether it happens that I succeed and then I get married to him, he'll be in my life. Maybe a rosy marriage. If he doesn't accept, he's the father, or he will be the father of my child. He's still in my life somehow. Okay. So I think I want to think that through, and I want it to be that this is something we both agreed on. Maybe because I don't want to settle for the other outcome. What if, because he's not in support and he chooses to let me raise my child all alone? Do I want that? I don't want that, certainly. So if he's not ready, someone else may be ready. It may just be that you're the one who's not ready for that person. Okay. There's always an alternative. It's just that sometimes we want things exactly how we want it. There's always that person who's ready for you. It is you sometimes that is not ready for the person. So getting who's ready for you and who you're ready for is where the challenge comes for most persons. And that's why you see the desperation of, I must trap this man, or I want to trap this lady. But while you're trying to trap someone is just there with arms wide open and waiting for you. But for me personally, that's not a risk I think I would want to settle for, because it's very dicey, very dicey.
Okay, so which other approach that you've said basically there's always someone else there. So you would just decide, okay, fine, since he's not ready, let me move ahead to someone else.
Ultimatums sometimes work as much as pregnancy.
Sometimes don't work.
Sometimes it doesn't work. See, these
Yeah.
things are not cast in stone. There's no exact formula to how you can make a man ready for you or how you can make a woman ready for you. It depends on the people involved and the approach. There are some ladies who are giving ultimatum and it worked out for them because the man knew how valuable they were to him. And so once the lady said, see, this year must not pass me by. It's either you're ready or I'm turning the other way because Mr. A, Mr. C, and Mr. D are all ready. It's just for me to give them a yes answer. And then the man says, okay, fine, let's make this happen. But for some to be like, well, if you want to leave, I'm not sending you away, but if you want to leave,
that
you
statement,
leave.
does it not make the man look like he's actually not serious about this?
Of course.
Because
of
I don't
course.
think I would use my own mouth to say, if you want to leave, leave. If I'm really serious about you, I want to
Yes.
convince you to just keep.
Yeah, that's why I said
staying.
it has worked for some time. The man who is serious about you, but maybe feels he has so much time to play away with, by the time you give him an ultimatum, he buckles up and he wants to make you stay. Okay, fine. What then do you want? You want us to get married? Okay, I don't have much money. Would it be okay? Let's just have it, low key. He wants to keep you. The one who will not be ready tomorrow, who will not be ready next year, will say, well, if you want to stay, you can stay, but let it not be as if I'm wasting your time. I understand. They try to be that caring type, understanding that time is ticking. Fine, you can go. That person is not serious. Tomorrow will not be serious. Next year, it still will not be serious. Now, if you choose to have a child with such a person, where I can sound like the Coco Master and tell you a very long thing, it could work well for you. It could also boomerang.
Okay, now let's talk about after, for instance, it works. You get pregnant for a man or you make a woman pregnant and you guys decide to settle down and you get married. Now, do you think it might have an effect on their relationship?
Of course, sometimes it does. While some may be angry that they are trapped, some men may actually recognize that they've been trapped and they want to take it out on the woman. They don't treat her well. It's like, I never wanted to be in this. You just made me get into this. And so when your child needs something, they deny your child because it's not as if they hate the child. They want to punish you. I mean, no woman would be happy knowing that the father of her child is not caring for the child. So it's you they want to upset. But the child just happens to be collateral damage. When two elephants fight, the grass suffers, that kind of thing. It does affect the child. Sometimes some men will even go ahead as say, okay, fine, have your child, no problem. They can even marry the woman, but still have a child with someone that they love or wanted to have a child with. And so while all the affection, the resources go to the other family, yours is being neglected. It does. And sometimes the child may get to know that my father never really wanted me. I've seen a real life situation where it happened. The man never actually wanted a woman. She got pregnant. She had a child. So the man became an absentee father. He was more or less a visiting father who comes once in a while. He wasn't really playing his role as a father. So the child was growing up, and saw how the mother was struggling to make ends meet while the father was very comfortable. So it didn't make sense to him becoming a teenager, knowing well that my father is well-to-do. How come my mom is struggling to make ends meet? It must be that he never wanted her and doesn't want me. So that boy was always angry. It happened that the mother passed on. And there was a disconnect, a complete disconnect between himself and the father because he had bottled so much anger about the way the father has treated him and the mother. You can imagine that kind of child, and these are things that we sometimes see happen when the man never wanted the pregnancy. It sometimes met out ill treatment on the child. Even the woman too, when she doesn't want the pregnancy and somehow maybe you trick her, she feels she's being protected, not knowing you're playing a fast one, she's not being protected, and then she goes home not knowing anything is wrong, only to find out a month later she's pregnant. Some of these things do happen. And so she has that child, but she's not loving the child because she never wanted to have a child with that particular man.
I think that's what medical people call postpartum trauma or something like that.
No,
or depression.
No, postpartum depression could even come even when the pregnancy was birthed out of love.
But won't this
It'll be
particular
worse.
scenario
It'll
exactly?
be worse, certainly.
It would trigger it
when
even.
the support of both of the man is not there, or the woman never wanted to be pregnant. It's just like you're forced to carry something you didn't want to carry. So the love, everything that with which you would gather pregnancy, grow it, and just nurture it will be absent.
I feel like you should be on Ladies' Night more often.
You see, you don't get lucky all year round. This is your lucky day.
well, we're heading towards Christmas, so
okay.
probably it's like a pre-Christmas present. All right, this has been Ladies' Night. We're not going anytime soon. Oh, okay, probably soon, but not really close. Now, we've been talking about, should I call it the baby mama syndrome, and the possibility of a relationship going to the next level when a child becomes involved. Like a man decides, okay, I want to get this woman pregnant, so she becomes more serious with me. Or a woman decides, no, he must be the father of my baby, and she enforces it, and probably they do end up getting married. What are the things that might come up from that relationship? What is the impact it may have on their relationship? That's what we've been talking about. We've gone on the streets earlier on. We heard what people had to say about it, and of course BG has been here with me talking a whole lot about about it. Now we're going to go on a tiny little break, and when we get back we'll take our last words on the show and of course head out. This is still Ladies' Night. Do not go anywhere. All right, welcome back. This is still Ladies' Night on Independent Television with yours truly, Ameze Obai Siagbon, and of course, our special guest in the studio today, talking about Blessed Eche, aka BG. Now, we're still looking at trapping people through pregnancies just to get married to that person. Now, I want to look at another aspect of it now.
Okay.
What do you think might spur a person or might make a person decide, okay, I think this is the best way I can go about this. This is the only way that this man would tie the knot with me. This is the only way that this woman would decide to settle down with me. What do you think will make a person actually think in that direction?
Well, pressure. Pressure from family members, especially on the lady, if age is not really on her side anymore. And if she also loves the guy, and maybe has confided in friends and relatives that she loves the guy, but is not loving her the way she wants, is not singing her song of getting married, and then maybe it has worked for someone around her, like get pregnant for him, Joe. Those it has worked for usually give this kind of advice: get pregnant. And the guy may feel like, what if he doesn't want it? Why would he want it? It's his child. And if she's this kind of person who's familiar with his family, who have formed ties with his family, they just tell you, when you get pregnant, let his family members know even before him.
So that they'll be really happy.
So they'll be happy, and they'll pressure him to, he just has to accept. It has worked for some people. That's why you still have people giving that advice. Then also, you have some families where maybe the man wants to marry the lady, but his family is giving conditions or saying, no, we don't want this person. And then he knows that if she's pregnant, he can come to them to say, well, we didn't plan it, but it just happened. And so that could make them have a change of heart, like, well, she's not our preferred choice for you, but since there's a child in the way, let's just allow this happen. So both of them could have it planned. Yes. Okay. And I've also been told a story where it was the girl's family. The mother objected vehemently, like, no, you're never going to marry my daughter, for reasons best known to her. And then the girl was madly in love with the guy. The guy too was in love with her. So they came up with a plan: get pregnant. Your mother would want you to have a child out of wedlock. She just has to accept it. And so they did it, and it worked for them.
And you're married today?
Married,
Wow.
happy. The mother had to come around, she had to come around.
So,
in the
so
end.
is this like, should we advise people out there? Like, if your parents not agree, just quickly
you try the fast lane.
just drop them with a grandchild, and maybe there's no parent out there that would see their grandchild and would be like, no, this is a bad.
And most mothers don't want that shame of, oh, your daughter had a child out of wedlock, she's at home with you. So what are your options? Instead of having her at home with you, oh yeah, just let her go with this man that says she wants to marry. But on your own, if you choose to go with something like this, it's your own decision to make. And know that some mothers are stony-hearted. Hey, it's not a child, no problem. It's my grandchild, they will tell you. No denier. Give birth to the child. If possible, come live with us. Have the child. Once you have the child, they can even permit that you live with them till the child, maybe gets to the age of 3, and then they give you heat that chase you out of the house, but they take their grandchild. So if you want to go this way, be prepared for anything. If you're not that person with that kind of bone for anything, please, hey, allow things go the natural way.
Okay, what are your final words? What advice do you have to people out there? Because somebody out there may actually be thinking about this, and what you would say right now may or may not change their mind. So
yeah, that's I say on your own.
So what would be your advice to someone?
My advice is, personally, I think there is honor and rest of mind in quote. A man who's come to seek your hand in marriage, who's come to your family to ask for their consent to get married to you, may still misbehave, but the odds are much less than a man you're trying to drag. I wouldn't want to say trap. You're dragging him. You can take a horse to the river, but you can't force the horse to drink water. So it is with this kind of thing. You may succeed in marrying the man, but would you enjoy that marriage? So think about it.
All right, thank you so much.
And while you're saying, well, Anne did it, Jane did it.
Her.
Are you Anne? Are you Jane? Is the man you want to trap the man that Anne or Jane trapped?
True. Now, we all have different destinies. We all have different ways of living. We are all unique in our own way. So what worked for person A may not work for person B, may not even work for person C, and probably might work for person D, but we're all different, and what works for each and every one of us may not work for the other person. So do what works for you, and you must definitely think your plans through before carrying it out.
Think about tomorrow.
Yes, there's no room for any errors. There's no room for mistake. Marriage is too long a time for you to make a mistake. And if you're not happy in that marriage, it will be really, really, really terrible. I've not been married before, but I've seen people who are in marriage and they're not happy. And they advise people on a daily basis. If you're not sure about the person you want to get married to, do not enter that relationship. And please do not trap somebody's son or somebody's daughter because you think you love that person so much and this is the perfect person for you. This has been Ladies Night. My name is Ameze Obaisiago. Thank you so much, BG, for being here.
You're welcome.
We hope and pray that you will come another day.
You have to go to the mountain for that prayer to be answered.
Don't worry, I'm going there. All right, thank you so much to all of you out there who watched, and thank you so much for your time. You don't forget, yes, that you can always watch an episode on YouTube. It's always available there for you. Previous episodes of the program, it's always posted there, so you can go up on YouTube. ITV Radio is the name, and definitely you get to watch past episodes. Next week we'll have another exciting topic for you, so do well to join us.
Yeah, from Little Kim, the Queen Bee. It's Ladies Night, what? It must be Angie on the mic. The butter pea, honey, got the sugar, got the spice. Roll the L tight, keep the rhymes right, yo. I just made this motherfucker up last night, and I'm the rookie on this all-star team. Me and Kim is getting cream, like Thelma and Louise, but on chrome. Never leave that